Hi everyone, today we are going to make this really pretty bowed boutique bow, and it is a multi-layered bow. So this one is the base bow is a simple loop with extra tails, as you can see. The cupping bow, so that's what I refer to because it's cupping this main one, is an inverted two-piece boutique bow, and then obviously you've got this bowed boutique shape as your centre, and then we've got the little clay girl on top, which is from Eva's Bow and Craft Supplies, and I've got this little one that's going to go on this. This is obviously more of a navy, and we're going to do our tutorial in royal blue. And the other thing you'll notice is I'm actually using, I'll just get a little piece, just have some on my desk. I've mixed bias tape ribbon. So this is like a fabric that's been turned into a ribbon, and you can use a bias toolkit. I'll put the link in the description below to make your own, or you can buy it pre-made. I brought this pre-made from Enchanted Sparkle Craft Supplies before she sort of scaled down her ribbon side. And obviously what I did is to mine, I just layered them so that they're, because this is my 1.5 inch ribbon is normally 4 inches, which is about 40 millimeters, and the bias is 30, so 3 centimeters wide, so it perfectly fits on it, but it's a bit bigger than sort of 1 inch, so like I said, it just gives you that little bit of pop of the royal either side. And I have personally sealed it for me because I have the wood burning tool. What I do is I take my layers, make sure it's lined up nicely, take a metal edge ruler, hold that down against there, and then I take my tool and just run it along the edge. Now with it being bias, it is a little bit harder to go through, so what you can do is where it's melted, you can trim that little extra off, but it's still sealed nicely. Now you can do this with a lighter, but as I said, bias is fabric, not gross grain ribbon, so you have to be quicker. Right, so it's actually got some gas in it. So you see, you can sort of do it because it's just a tack to hold it in place as you're building. And then pinch it with your fingers, and it works to hold it in place, but it is much more secure with the wood burning tool. So if you have that option, do use that where you can. And like I said, it just holds it. You can get like cleaner lines and things like that, which helps me when I'm making. And the other thing that I've done with the wood burning tool is I didn't have any royal blue 9mm today. I don't know why, I've somehow run out. So what I do when I need it again, I measured my 1 centimetre, lined it up. Obviously I use my actual glass cutting mat, which is out the site, so I just use this so I show you. Again, put the ruler against there, use it as a guide. And other than that bit that didn't quite melt, there you go. Got a little bit of 9mm now to wrap my centres and round these little pieces, and it all matches in colour. So that's what I do when I've run out of a specific one. If you've got the bigger size, you can just cut it down, and obviously I've also used this piece for one of my tails on my simple loop bow. So there's 2 little tricks for you before we get started. Move this out of the way, and I'm going to just call this one of my bowed boutiques. So it's going to be a Gingham School bowed boutique, and it translates because it's from Pollyanna Formosa, and basically she calls it the bow the details make all the difference, which is true because it is a very detailed bow, but it's not as complicated as it looks. So I'm not going to tell you all these measurements as all at once because it will overwhelm people's bows, but they're all in the description box below with all the details, where you need to pin out, which direction you need to pin out, how many stitches, everything is always in the description boxes below for you. So that'll all be in there for each part of it, and we'll get onto the main bits now. As you can see, I've already made 2 parts here just to save time so you're not watching me for hours. So I think what we'll do first is we'll do the boutique part of the bow first. So as you can see, I've got my two pieces. It's 4 times 28 centimeters for this, and we are going to pin in from the left 13 centimeters, from the right it's 8.5 centimeters, and then I also pin at the longer end in the center. Okay, so what I do, I'm just going to turn this over, and then I'm going to take this side, so take this like so, and twist until those two pins line up like this. And then I take a couple of clips, one here, one here, and this is a shape. And then this, we're going to have the gingham side going over on the bow. Now I always check which side I want wrapped round before I put my stitches in, because I want the stitches on the front, so the 3 creases are this side. So I always check that before I start sewing, so you know which side to put your stitches on, because it just gives me like a visual representation. So we are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will give us 3 creases in total. So pull that through. Okay, get your 3 little creases. Wrap that round and stitch off in the back. Make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. Cut that off. Move our thread out of the way. That's what it looks like at the front. Then we're going to take the bit of 9mm that I made with the wood burning tool. I'm just going to cut this down a bit here. Take a lighter to the end, and we're just going to put a teeny tiny touch of glue knock the wood burner over. So just wrap that round your centre. Without making a huge mess like I just did and getting glue all over your fingers. And I wrap round twice. So once, twice. Cut that little extra off. Heat seal. Touch of glue. And close. There we go. So then this, because we're working from the front, so this is what it will look like at the moment. And we're going to take this and we'll bring this over so that all of these are lined up, and then when we twist it round, you've got one bow this side, one bow that side, so they both look the same like this, and when we sew them they're going to turn so they sit like that. So we're going to put those to those side, and now we're going to do the inverted boutique. So this one is 2 times 32 centimeters, and we pin straight in the center. Okay, and with the pin facing towards you, and that will be the pattern on the outside, we bring them together. I take my ruler, and for these ones I do it so that this part is 5 centimeters wide, and you pin it at the 2.5 obviously in the center. And the other thing when you're making, do these both ways, so the way that you layer both pieces is exactly the same. So always bring them from, whether or not you do it left or right, always do both pieces exactly the same for balance. Then we bring our pins together and you'll get this look. And then take this one up and over so that your pin's like this. Give it a little nudge so it's like this. Like I said, line those pins up. And again, take 2 clips, pin and pin, and again you will see that's the big space there, that's a big space there, and they're both exactly the same. And then when we spin them, they will be like this. Okay, so now we shall stitch them all. And again, this is important because we need to get all of the stitches right to get it all nicely balanced. I'm just going to tie off the knot of my thread because I've done that a lot recently. Not knotted off my end and then pulled everything through. So move your clip. Now with this one, normally I'd say start at the edge. With these, you want to go up a little bit, and I go where the bias, just below where the bias is here. So that's your first one from above. 1, okay, 2, and again make sure you're going through all those layers. 3, 4, 5, 6 one. You can take this last clip out, and 6 from above, and again just make sure you're going through the layer where the bias is. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will give you 3 creases. You can take your pins out at this point as well, and then spin this round, remove your clip, again from above where they all join, just as the bias goes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take that clip off, and 6 from below as everything ends. Take your clips out. So this is what the fronts will look like, and this is what the backs will look like. So you've got your 3 stitches on each side. Okay, and then you can cinch like this. It will look a little bit messy for a second. Line up one side, and take it back through. Pull it nice and tight, like so. And this is what you get. And then I'm just going to go across the 2 centre creases from beneath. Do it close to the centre as well, so that your schoolgirl clay and your centre will 9mm will cover it. So just across there to anchor it, and then I just do a couple of stitches in the back. Okay, so cut that off with a little manipulation, and there is your inverted boutique cupping bow. And we're going to take our thread, just rethread my needle. I always use double thread as well. So there we go. Now we're going to do our bowed pieces, and again, make sure everything is lined up nicely. It's all where it should be, and you start from above where they all meet. So you want to be making sure that you've got all your layers. So you can see you 1, 2, 3, 2 layers here, 2, 4, 5 in total from above. You want to be going through all of them. You want to be going in from where the bias starts as well. So that's 1. 2, 3. Just pull that tight so I've not got no looseness. 4, 5. Take this clip off. And then 6 up as they all end here. You can take your pins out at this point, and again just pull up if you've got any. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you've got 1, 2, 3 on the back. Spin this piece so it's again the loop's facing you. Take clip off. Make sure you're going through all your layers from above, where the bias starts from beneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, take clip off, 5 down, and 6 back up from above, capturing all your layers right as they are all finishing. Take your pins out, and this is what it will look like at the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 on the back of each. And again, if you want to, you can make them in 2 separate pieces and glue them together instead. I just personally prefer the cinch method, as we all know. So do those nice and tight. Again, I line up the one that side, and you just want to go back through or across like so. Get it nice and tight. Get your creases to line up so that they're all balanced. And again, from beneath, same as I just did with the other one, close to the centre so you can hide the stitch through that middle one on both sides to help anchor. And then just a couple of stitches in the back. Now I've used the bias ribbon because that was the only gingham ribbon I had, but you can use standard grosgrain. It's actually a little bit easier than with the bias ribbon, and you can literally play around and do any layering like this that you want to. I've even seen them done in lace. They look really, really pretty, but I just didn't have the smaller size in that, so So that's what that looks like. Now, if you've done it right, you can pop these in, and basically it will sit like this, so that this bow is cupped in that little side piece on both sides, and these loops sit nicely in those cups there, like this. Okay, so they're ready. So whichever way you want the tail to be, I want mine from the left. If you want yours from the right, you do yours from the right, but you pin in at 12 centimetres. Okay, take this side, bring it to your pin, fold it in half, heat crease. Okay, and then you take that bit that you've just creased, and you want it so it's below the pin, so you shorter part the tails here. Okay, and then you can take a clip and clip that here, and then you take this loop round. How have I done this wrong? Sorry. Where your pin is, you bring this side so that your line is up here. So from your pin there. So you can see, so pin's there, your line's up across there. And take this side and make a loop round this way. This is why I normally do it on templates. So this is what you get, and you'll notice your loops are the same size, look. Okay, so before I put my anchor stitch in, I'm going to take one of the bias pieces and I'm just going to pop that in the centre along here. It is a little bit longer, but that's for a reason. I'm just going to slide that across, so that's underneath there, and then I'm going to turn it over. What I want to do is have this one and this one here, and this one here. I'm just going to clip all of those across like that, and then this is just an anchor stitch, so right in the centre, which will be right here for the there, we are just going to put a little anchor stitch in so that we can do this. So get your tails out of the way, take this clip out of the way, we're going to move this one over here. What you do is you take your loops and you move them so that they flatten like this. I'm going to take that across there, this clip across here. This is what the front will look like. As you can see, it's starting to look more like a simple loop bow. You can cut that there, bring it in half, so from your edges like this, heat crease the back so you've got a guide where we're going to put our stitches, and we're going to do 8 stitches to get 4 creases across this one. So from above, from where we start, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and as always 8 is from above, same as 1 is from beneath, as same as 1 is from above. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Forgot to tie that off, we'll do that before I cinch it. 1, 2, got that. that all together. And what I'm also going to do is take that pin out, and what you can do at this point before you cinch, take out some of the bulk, is a cut those down like that, and then you can take your lighter and heat seal. Be careful of your thread, you don't want to burn your thread off. Okay, and then cinch to get your 4 creases. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and tight. Stitch that in the back. Mind your toes. There we go. Take all of our clips off now. And there is your base bow, and there are all your tails ready to stitch them. And then with my excess thread, from beneath through the centre, go right up, take this one again right through the centre, because I do this instead of gluing, through the middle of that one, bring that down, take this one, bring that up through the centre of that one, put it in the bow, the cupping bow exactly how you want it, bring it really tight, and then take this and wrap it round all your layers, and do this really tight. And you know how some of them are really bulky and you can literally feel it? If you do this threading method instead of gluing, it will take out a lot of that chunkiness that you can get in some styles. So I'll just unwrap one layer just so I can stitch a couple of stitches in the back, just to make that extra secure. There we go. So there's that. Put that thread out of the way. Now with your tails, as you can see, this one's a lot shorter. So I always do it so I've got a little bit of extra to work with. I'm just going to cut them all down. You could have done about 13, but like I said, I always like a little bit extra to play with. So cut them down so they're the original length of your tail. And then you just cut them in different designs, different patterns and different directions, just to give it a little more playful look. So you can curve that way for this one. I'm going to do like a little more fun for that one, and then do it the opposite direction for this way. Okay, and then this one we'll do another curve but a slightly deeper one, and then the last one we'll do a curve up, and then all you need to do is, like I said, heat seal everything on your bias. Do be careful not to burn it, because like I said, it is fabric, not ribbon, so it is slightly easier to burn it than the gross grain. And do it in the blue clay a bit of the lighter. And there you go. Got some interesting fun tails. So move all of those little bits out of the way. Got my gross grain ribbon for the centre. I've got a big 60mm clip because it needs a bit more weight behind it than some of the smaller clips. I'm going to put some glue across the back of the clip, flip it over right across the centre, give it a moment to set. Take our matching 9mm. Don't forget to heat seal the end of this as well. A little bit of glue. And the other good thing about this tutorial is if you really wanted to, you could make each individual, all 3 of the bows individually, and they are all still very, very pretty. So I wrap around, I've put a dot of glue here. I was wrapped around twice. So, a little bit of glue there, round, open your clip back up, round again, round again. Another tip if you're doing school bows, if a customer says blue, do ask them, or even red, do ask them which blue or which red, because a lot of schools don't have like a generic red. They'll have like light blue or royal blue or navy blue, or like red, scarlet red, poppy red, burgundy, etc. And it won't be the red that you're or blue you're expecting. So ask, otherwise you could end up making a ton of bows in the completely wrong colour. So there is the bow at the minute. You can plump up your loops a bit as well. Okay, and then I'm going to take my schoolgirl clay, and I use this Gorilla Top green gel glue. And what I do is I don't put it on the schoolgirl. I take it, make sure your loops are out of the way, and on that 9mm only, I put it on here. Now if you want to, you can put a piece of felt on the back of your schoolgirl. Depends on how safe you feel with your glue. And then place her exactly where you want her. You need to hold it for a good couple of seconds. And there you go. Nicely set. And there is your royal blue gingham bowed boutique bow. So pretty, so cute. Like I said, you can do all the layers of the bows individually. You can play around, you can do your colours in every different design you could possibly want. It looks really cute with the schoolgirl clays. It's perfect bow for clays, like showing off clays really well. But yeah, you can play around and make it completely your own. So thanks for watching all, and I'll speak to you all soon.